gold, and it means England...
My toothless Nobby, my Bobby and Jackie, my Jeff and Martin. And my two guests tonight, the youngest member of the team, the boy who ran himself daft on the day, and the legendary figure who lifted the trophy on that great day. Welcome Alan Ball and the captain, Bobby Moore. Welcome to our new home, for a start. But are you upset that the FA didn't mark the occasion in a more momentous fashion?
Yeah, I think probably all the players now are a little bit disappointed. I think nobody was really expecting anything, Terry, but I think now that you know, the media have made such a tremendous hoo-ha of it, and it was obvious that the whole event was very close to the general public's heart, I think probably now the players are disappointed, and I just genuinely feel that overall, the Football Association missed a wonderful PR opportunity.
Yeah, do you think so, Alan?
Well, it's been a long time, hasn't it? And
it's the biggest thing ever in English football, wasn't
Everybody knew what they were doing on that particular day. It would have been nice. You know, my son and that, he's grown up, only been spoken about it, and I'd just like to take him somewhere, just to let him know that it did happen.
It's kind of typical of them. They do behave in a kind of old-fashioned way. I was looking at that documentary again, which Jeff Hurst had, and he was saying that on the night that you won the Jules Rimet Trophy, the World Cup, your wives weren't invited to the dinner.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we did have the end of the World Cup banquet at the Royal Garden Hotel, and we were there by ourselves. I mean, how much of that was to do with the FA, and we don't really know whether that may have been FIFA planning or not, but it was a little bit disappointing because, as one of the two of the lads had said, we'd spent a long time preparing for the World Cup, we'd spent a long time away from home, and one of the two of us were looking forward to seeing the girls, weren't they, Al?
Well, we had to wait till it was gone midnight before we saw them.
And by that time, it didn't matter.
What did they do with your wives and girlfriends? I mean, did they sit out in the corridor?
They shunted them away in another room somewhere.
Yeah, they just gave them a private dinner.
Do you notice that over the years everybody seems to have been there?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously an occasion that is very, very close to so many people because people still get a tremendous amount of pleasure and enthusiasm when they talk about it, and it's very rarely a single day goes by that you don't bump into somebody that wants to talk about the World Cup final in 1966, the main reason being that they want to tell you where they were, why they were there, and what they were doing on the day. It's one of those dates now that is firmly implanted in people's minds.
Do you remember everything about it?
You think you do, and you know, if people was to say to me now, you know, do you remember the whole day, you know, I would have said yeah, without any doubt whatsoever. But every time you see another replay of the video, some other little thing springs to mind, and it's not quite the case.
Yeah. What about you? Do you remember everything about? What do you remember about the
most important thing I remember was ringing my father up in the morning because Elf picked the team on the night before and asked us to keep it to ourselves. And my dad had to make arrangements to get down to the final if I was playing, and I can remember ringing him, telling him I was picked to play. And his words were marvellous to me. He said, remember every minute of it, son, because it'll go very, very quickly. And it did. And it was over before, you know, being a young person as well. It just all went over my head, to be quite honest.
Yeah. 21.
Yeah.
Do you wish you were a bit older? You had been a bit older.
Well, I saw the emotion on Bobby Charlton's face and Ray Wilson, who were older members of the squad. And being 21 years of age, I thought, well, what's all the fuss about? You know, it's just another game.
Because they were all crying.
Yeah,
that's what happened every week.
Did you? I mean, a lot of the team cried. Were you close to tears at any stage?
No, I don't think I was ever close to tears by it all, Terry, but I think obviously it was an emotional moment. I think, you know, apart from the sheer elation of it all, I think the most important aspect that suddenly really hit you was the tremendous achievement of it all, that we set out to win the World Cup if it was at all possible, and there we were at the end of the tournament, achieving what we set out to do, and basically at very young ages and early stages in our career, achieving the pinnacle of you know, the highest success that any professional footballer could have.
That's right. Jeff Hurst was saying in the course of this documentary, which was made about 5 years ago, I think, that the strange thing was that he was seeing a greater reaction to it now than maybe 25 in 1966. That there seemed to be more glory from it now than there was at the time. Was that your experience?
I think maybe it's because a long period of time has gone by without a great deal of success in the international team. And I think, we're in the middle of a boom period in the game at the present time. I think, we've got rid of this terrible period of the hooligan element behind us.
You think that's gone?
I sincerely think, the greater majority of it's gone. I think most of the clubs have done a wonderful job in eliminating it from the stadiums. I think, we had a wonderful World Cup in 1990, which was great. I mean, our English teams are now back in Europe. And I genuinely think the game is on a high at the moment, and I just think it would have been a nice opportunity for maybe the Football Association to have done something to recognise England's performance 25 years ago, and it would have just been a nice touch. But
wouldn't have cost that much. Do you think there's going to be this Super League that it's been announced that it's legal and it can happen? Do you think this is going to happen?
I think it's well, we've had a Super League within the league for about 8 years. I mean, there's only 6 teams can possibly win the first division in this coming season. But I think it's inevitable that it'll come.
Tell me, are you out of the game for good now?
I haven't shut the door completely, but...
what are you doing now?
I'm running a restaurant bar in the Maidenhead area.
A very, very desirable area, I know as well. And I mean, are you cooking?
You must go to
Are you cooking as well?
Oh, no, just...
just drinking, it's only drinking.
But isn't it a pity that you're out of the game, that you have so much to offer?
Well, it's one of those things. I think the game's changed a little bit. The players have changed a little bit. It's not quite the same game as when we played.
Do you regret that you, as 2 outstanding players, are not around now to get the huge rewards? Or do you think it's all too hyped?
No, I think, the players playing today's game have got a marvellous opportunity of making, tremendous careers for themselves. I think the game has changed tremendously. It's now a high-profile business. Whereas when we were involved, it was a sport. I mean, we had good living
even
from the
in
game.
'66, it still was slightly more Corinthian, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was during '66 and the success that the team had in '66 that probably made it a transitional period when we were then started to turn it into a business, because avenues open for players that were involved in '66 that weren't available before,
That's
didn't
right.
they?
Well, we did live well. I mean, we lived ever so well in '66. I mean, I can remember, I think I was on £100 a week at 19 years of age. In 65.
All your birthdays.
That's right.
That's right.
Marvellous.
Exactly.
Had a great career, and good luck to the lads, but it just may be getting a little bit too much money that people are getting. It just takes that little bit of the thing that you need, that passion away from football, where money's more important than the actual game itself.
And I also think, Terry, those years were very, very good for the game, in as much that English football was very successful, apart from the international team doing very, very well. I mean, we were dominating European competitions. I mean, Manchester United, Celtic won the European Cup. Tottenham Hotspurs, West Ham won the European Cup Winners' Cup. And whatever competition English clubs went into, they were dominating. So that period of the mid to late 60s and the early 70s were very, very good and enjoyable years.
Do you think that '66 team is the best that we've ever had? Or do you think there's been a better team since? Do you think anybody in the present England team would get into that 1966 team now?
Well, I think the '66 side was a very, very good side, plus the fact they had a great manager. The balance that he got everybody, doing particular jobs, and he also had, in my opinion, 5 great players, world-class players in that team: Gordon Banks, Bobby Charlton, Ray Wilson, and Jimmy Greaves, who didn't play in the final. That's the reason I think we won the World Cup, because we had 5 world-class players, plus a world-class manager.
Graham, we asked Sir Ralph to come along, but in his customary way, he's an extraordinary man, very shy.
Yeah, he's a very shy man, very low-profile man, but he was a superman to work with and a superman to work for. And I think every player that worked with Sir Ralph, had a great deal of respect for him.
He didn't get a medal either, did he?
No, so we learnt the other day. I mean, I never knew that until somebody told me that they'd read it in the newspaper the other day, which was
He's
very
only the
sad, really.
manager.
Yeah, very sad, really.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming along, reviving our memories of what was a wonderful day for English football.
Thank you.
I'm sure there'll be many more.